Artificial intelligence.
With AI. Through AI and AI.
How AI will AI.
It combines AI and advanced hardware.
The humane AI pin.
AI.
Stop it. Get some help.
There's a bit of a conflict in my head because it seems like every single product that is coming out now has AI like ingrained into it, even if it really doesn't need AI.
What if your grill was smart? What if your grill could think?
Let me tell you my name. I'm confused.
At the same time, like I'm genuinely excited for some of the things that we can build because we have AI and like using AI technology to do great things. I've just been to a UX conference this week, a user experience conference, and every single talk had the topic of AI into it in one way or another, which didn't necessarily make it less interesting. I really liked the conference, but at the same time, it seems like all that we talk about these days is AI. We want artificial intelligence to do things that nobody wants to do, right? You wanted to do tasks that are very repetitive. Nobody wanted to do them anyway, so you just put AI to the task, it does it for you. But still, there's a right and there's a wrong way to do it, and it seems like we get it wrong like most of the time. Actually, we don't really have to guess. There's this study done by the MIT. This came up in a conference. 95% of all projects AI related fail. It's so crazy that we have something with such a high failure rates, right? And we keep doing it. We keep pressing on it. We keep selling it. It's still such a buzzword. So at the same time that this is pretty shocking, I don't know if it's surprising. Like the 95% number, it kind of makes sense. Who remembers the fabled AI pin?
It's a standalone device and software platform built from the ground up for AI.
Knowing what we now know, it's crazy they even made this announcement, but what you might not know, because I definitely didn't, is that they gathered like hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding and investment before it failed. Even before it had anything to show for it, even before anyone was trying this, there was already like insane amounts of money invested into it just because of the concept of an AI first device that people can carry around. I heard people say that this was going to be the next iPhone.
There are no wake words, so it's not always listening or always recording. In fact, it doesn't do anything until you engage with it.
Actually, it doesn't do anything ever. It doesn't do anything useful or otherwise. It's just kind of there.
And your engagement comes through your touch, voice, gesture, or the laser ink display.
There are probably many reasons why the AI pin failed. I'm not going to claim to know exactly what were those reasons. We can kind of infer some of it, right? But we have a really big tendency of looking at products like this and to attribute its failing to just the technology that is behind it. Like, okay, when we look at the laser ink display, we can just say that the technology is not quite there. Ideally, it would be almost like a hologram that you see like something out of Star Trek or something like that. It's not there. Obviously, the technology is not doing what you want to do. Like this website that they showed is long gone. But when we look at the Wikipedia page, people do attribute a lot of the failure of the AI pin to its short battery life, to some heating problems that it has. And I'm sure it contributed to people being unsatisfied, but let's be real, the AI pin didn't fail because the battery was low, right?
We don't do apps. Humane's OS runs AI experiences. The OS understands what you need and picks the right AI in the moment.
These AIs are streamed on demand at the speed of thought. Got my clock, weather, the date.
And it's kind of ironic here because this is clearly a company that is just trying to be Apple. They use many of the same words that Apple uses during their announcements, saying that it has all-day battery life.
All-day battery life.
Whatever that means. And it's founded by people who used to work at Apple, so it's not that surprising. Apple is really focused on designing experiences around the value that they bring to the user. This company is doing things completely backwards. You start with the technology and then you jam it into whatever that people might want to do.
We were able to pack a lot of technology into something really small. Qualcomm Snapdragon chipset, crucial for AI.
But your whole purpose is to fit this technology into people's lives like as hard as you can in whatever shape or form they might imagine. All that they're selling is the fact that they were able to pack a lot of technology into something this small that is always watching what you're watching. It's not a horrible value proposition, but why does it have to be a pin? You have that now in smart glasses, works a little better, still doesn't get enough adoption. People are not really buying that. Companies are investing based on a future that they see. There is no reason why the AI pin would be better than a smartwatch, and it's kind of the same size. It's cheaper. It doesn't have like the laser display, but it has just a regular display that can have any color you want, like an OLED. So it's really hard to justify why you would do something like this. But still, it happened, and still it got like over $200 million of investment. How is that even possible? I don't think that we are at the level that we were like a couple of years ago, where we're just pouring money into anything that has AI into the title.
AI.
I don't think we're there anymore, which is already pretty cool. But indirectly, I think we're still kind of there. You can have very basic technology designed in a way that is truly, truly valuable, and people are going to be very interested in it, and you can grow from it. Or you can have really, really powerful technology, but applied in a way that is not useful, and people are just going to ignore it. And the truth is that value comes from value. Value doesn't come from hype. Hype can get you money, but is not going to sustain a company. And these companies really need to be something that is going to be evolving if they want to work with the technology of the future. Again, looking at the AI pin, if it's not solving a problem, or if it's not solving a problem correctly, to me, that's the reason why it failed. If the pin had done one thing, just one thing, if it got like one thing correctly, like one use case where if you're using it, it's amazing and you could never do that before and now you can, and it's something that really changes the way that you do something, I don't think it would have failed that hard. And speaking of bad user experience, this is gonna be a weird segment, but have you ever dreamed of having a slave, but those annoying like ethical boundaries just get in the way of you having one?
Neo is a humanoid companion designed to transform your life at home. It combines AI and advanced hardware to help with daily chores and bring intelligence into your everyday life.
There is a use case that is being sold here, although daily chores is very broad, but you kind of see the same problem, right? A humanoid robot that is walking around your house using AI technology to bring intelligence into your home. You'd kind of expect the intelligence to be in your home to be the people in your home.
Neo was engineered from the ground up for safety.
Subtle cue there, subtle red flag. Don't know if you caught that, but the dude said Neo was engineered from the ground up. Might seem like a small thing. It is no small thing. Dude said engineered. Yes, a robot does need to be engineered. It is a big part of how a robot comes to be. But I'm not as interested in my murder robots to be engineered as I am preoccupied with how it's designed. I think that all of these companies who are building products around AI, they are engineering a lot of different things. They engineer something really awesome, and then they try to sell you the thing that they engineered. When in reality, we needed something that was designed to solve something. And the design part is showing us how Neo comes in 3 colors. Familiar, isn't it?
It comes in 3 colorways. Got Eclipse, Lunar, and Equinox.
You have all the different specs here, 3 speakers, 4 mics, 1X Cortex. Nobody knows what any of this means. If you look at this, it says 22 decibels max noise level. Nobody watching this out of the 1.3 million people, maybe one person knows if 22 decibels is high or low. Like 2x 8 megapixels? Who uses megapixels to talk about anything nowadays? And even if we were to talk about megapixels, who cares about what type of camera the robot uses to see you, right? If the robot can see you, the robot can see you. I care if the robot is able to unload the dishwasher or not. I don't care what type of camera it has. I would care about what camera it has if I were to take pictures with it, but I don't think that's a use case. I know that Neo is not able to grab a knife, for example, for safety reasons.
Chop this onion.
Whoa, I'm gonna stop you there. I am not allowed to hold a knife.
What?
And I've seen other companies as well try this method of adding safety into how they work with AI, which is you think about how you don't want the product to be used, and then you add guardrails at the end telling it, do not do this thing bad. The reason why this doesn't work from a design perspective is that we're working with technology here that is supposed to be evolving at a very, very rapid pace, and there are supposed to be features that are going to emerge without you knowing that it's coming. So it doesn't really work to just add exceptions like saying Neo is not supposed to touch knives and think that is going to solve the problem, because there isn't going to be much of a difference between a knife and whatever other sharp object. Can Neo grab a fork? Does Neo know the difference between a fork and a knife? Does a fork that is very pointy get considered as a knife? There are many questions that come into play when you think about, is Neo designed for safety? You should be designing Neo in such a way where everything that Neo does is aligned with what we considered safe, instead of thinking about everything that Neo can do and then putting a huge block at the end saying you can do whatever you think is appropriate except this and this and this and this and this and this and this, because there's no way you're going to find every single use case that isn't safe to tell Neo not to do, especially if you want Neo to just be roaming around people's houses in environments that you haven't seen before. You have to start somewhere, so you might as well start simple most of the time. Most products you want to be as to the point as possible so you can expand upon already great features until it does many, many things. It's the case of the iPhone. The iPhone started with a very limited set of features that were revolutionary, no doubt, in the time that it came out. But most of the things that the iPhone can do right now, it couldn't do at launch. And that's totally normal. It's the way that products evolve. But this is linked with a very design-first mindset, a very iterative-first mindset. And they do claim to have an iterative-first mindset when they say that, be careful, this is not going to be like this out of the box. It's going to be a harsh road and we're going to have to make improvements.
The journey there is not going to be perfect. And we're not going to pretend it's going to be.
But I'm convinced that they're saying this mostly because they don't want people to have really high expectations when they first buy the robots. Whether you have to have someone remotely controlling it and it doesn't actually do anything, you have to always have a person controlling it for it to work, into the actual promise, which is, impossible to get to, of the robot doing anything you want it to do. We already do have robots that do things around the house and that add value and have gotten widespread adoption. They're called Roombas, or, vacuum cleaner robots. They've become better and better as time goes on. Now they can mop as well. They can reach the little corners around the house and they can map your house for you. Iteratively, the Roombas are getting better, and you do have a robot assistant that is helping you with the chores around the house. It might evolve to do more and more things, of course. There might also be other robots that appear that do other things around the house. I think it's much more probable that that's going to be the case. We're going to see more and more robot type of helpers around the house to do different things. I don't think we're going to get a robot assistant that helps you do different things anytime soon. And if we were to see something like that, mostly because of the dream of having a robot companion, I definitely wouldn't start with a humanoid that is this tall. It's eerie, it's weird, we know that the human shape isn't even ideal to do most tasks, to do most things that you want to do. Yes, the hands are kind of useful, but most of the tasks that you wanted to do, you could achieve with probably 3 fingers or 2 fingers. The fact that it's 5 fingers is, again, mostly because you do want it to look like a human, because it's what builds the hype around it. I think it would be as successful, if not more, if you were an R2-D2 that does several things around the house but doesn't do that much. I think it would be more appealing, a little bit less weird, and you could probably focus on a little more narrow features instead of having something that is supposed to do every single thing. I don't like technology that promises to do every single thing, because by definition, it's not going to deliver. No technology is going to do everything. Your iPhone does a lot for you, but it doesn't do everything. And if Steve Jobs had taken out the first iPhone on stage and then said, it's going to do all of these 50 different things, I don't think it would have stuck. I think that developing technology is sort of a partnership. You have to give it to the public. They try it out. They show you, because you don't really know in the beginning what's going to be the most useful things that people are going to do with what you built, especially if you're an engineering heavy company, which most of these are. You still should have a design perspective, and you should be thinking about, how am I going to make this in order to solve very specific problems? I already talked about this in other videos, but I think that most companies don't really know how to build anything that people actually want. They're really just focused on, how can I sell as much as possible? And that's heavily focused on how much marketing I can get and how much hype I can get around my products, which maybe used to make sense when you used to put a product on the shelf and people just bought it and it was a one-time purchase. But the way that the world works now, you need people to actually stay engaged with what you're building. What are people doing? What's the most awesome bits of it? What do I want to double down, triple down, quadruple down? You build more features on top of it so that it gets as much adoption as possible and people can keep building awesome stuff.
Who would win in a race? The fastest man in the world or the fastest robot in the world? Go!
It's the robot. Of course, it's the robot. I don't know if it's the robot. Maybe in this one, the racer actually wins. Building a robots to be faster than a person, it's not that difficult. We've done that. It's called a car. This whole Mr. Beast video, they did all of these challenges where you have the world's strongest man and you have in some of them like actually this Neo robot thing competing against a person. Can a robot strike a ball like faster than a person? Can a robot stronger than the strongest person in the world? Yes, the robot is better at all of those things. Of course it is. We've seen this with chess. Like, it was really groundbreaking when the first time an artificial intelligence system beat a world-class player by inventing a move. Like, it was a big deal. But nowadays it's like, yes, artificial intelligence is better than people at playing chess. Who cares? Nobody wants to watch a professional player going up against an artificial intelligence system because we know that the AI is going to win, but it's also very uninteresting. And God, nobody in their right mind wants to watch an artificial intelligence system go against another artificial intelligence system. If we were to get replaced by robots in running, we would have already be replaced by robots in running. There are many things where we can build technology that does things better than people. It's just we like watching other people excel at stuff. We like watching movies that were built by a person, and we like hearing about a personal experience and like the emotions they went through it and all that. This video is about AI fatigue, and I've been probably a hater all throughout everything we've been talking about, but I think I opened the video with this, but I am excited for the future that is coming. I like building stuff that has Gen AI into it if it makes sense to do so. I'm not a big fan of AI first products, just as I'm not a big fan of World Wide Web first products, right? Doesn't make sense. If I built an app now, it is on the internet. Who gives a crap? I think we're going to get there pretty soon. Maybe it's hopeful of me, but there's this curve, I forget the name of it now, that it says the technology we usually overestimate the impact is going to have in the short term, and then in the long term, we tend to underestimate it. I think some of us are kind of going down the roller coaster now, and eventually we're going to get to the point where we match what the technology is promising. I just don't like it when AI is like NFTs or cryptocurrency. It's a hype thing. It's a hype thing. I don't like the hype thing. I don't think it's that productive to talk about the process of building things with AI. I'm really excited for the moment when we can start talking about the things that we actually have built, and it doesn't matter if it has AI in it or not. It just matters that it's something really awesome. I do think we are going to be able to build things that are that much more awesome because we have AI in our hands, but I think that's going to take time. I don't think it's going to be something that is going to be released really fast now. There's a lot of money grabbing companies right now. Most products that we see, most ads that we see that put the buzzword AI into them, they're really not ready for the public. Apple is really resistant in putting Gen AI into their products. You can definitely see that. And I think they were right to do that. It's just the way to get there. It's not the product itself. I'm going to close with this. I already said this, but I'm going to say it again. Technology in itself is not a product. The technology bit, that's just one ingredient, but you have to build a plate that makes sense. And I had a colleague that said this, and I agree with her so much, which is there was a time where we wanted to put avocado into everything, and avocado is great. I really love it, but I don't want to just have avocado for lunch. And please, for the love of God, don't put avocado in my dessert.